This guy's having a bit of a heart-to-heart on our channel. He says, we've all seen many times dickheads driving negligent...
What?
I can't even say this word.
Do you speak English? I can't hear anything.
Negligent.
What?
The man can't speak.
I'm not even going to say that word.
What?
True international effort to pressure.
What? I've got to start this
Oh my
again.
God, this is writing itself. Like, you cannot cut that out.
I'm not putting this in.
You have to put it in.
Right, I'll start again. Hang on. How do you say this? Negligent.
Somebody get him some water, please.
That's not how you pronounce it, is it?
Negligent. Now you've screwed me up.
Come on, man. Come on.
This, I'm just going to cut that word out. I can't even say it. It's stupid. This is almost as bad as you trying to say homologation last week.
Oh yeah,
Homo.
Whenever he does talk, he can't put two sentences together.
Homologation.
Everybody right to go? Very good.
When it comes to bench talk, everyone just asks me, can you please have more RX8 and BARRA comments? Jordo, surely you got us something new.
Full-blown assault, this one. I'm sorry, but you don't understand the RX8s. The Series 1, aka 04 to 05, were the problem models, but the other years are way better, Luke. Even better than the FD motor by a long shot.
Say that again.
Better than an FD. So if you don't know what an FD is a Series 6 RX7, the twin turbo model. Renowned to be one of the best 13Bs made, and everyone uses them. The R3 is a whole other ballgame. Luke, this RX8 is an other ballgame. Do you know what he's talking about? Side seal clearance is larger. It is now closer to the exhaust gas heat. If you knew your stuff, NEW, yeah, it's a piece of shit. So what if it was International Engine of the Year and set an endurance record? Who wants an engine that revs to over 9,000 RPM and makes nearly 200 horsepower per litre stock? Per litre.
Bruh.
Horsepower per litre, bro.
Per litre.
Bruh.
I don't know about you, Luke, but how many International Engines of the Year were then called for how many defects?
They have apex seals, and those seals almost always go bad.
Oh, hang on. That's the 04 to 05 model, Luke. I've got it wrong. Then after that, they didn't. That's because they didn't service it, yeah? Didn't service it correctly. International Engine of the Year.
If only they'd serviced it correctly, it wouldn't have any of these problems. You can't even keep a straight face, can you? Because apparently it won this award. I reckon if you go down to the local wrecking yard, you could see piled high 10 of the wreckers, 10 International Engines of the Year. What do you reckon? The tribalism in this comment, Jordo, is nearly as good as you talking about your flaming Megane 265. You talk about it all the time. Every time I see you, sport mode, this sport mode, that's like me dead. It's a Megane. Now I'm pretty sure this is correct, but while the RX8 were having some, let's say, recall issues, you could buy an RX8 rotor in Australia for about 300 bucks, I think. As soon as they came out of the warranty period, that transition warranty period, $1,000 for a rotor.
$1,000 bucks.
$1,000 to buy a rotor from Mazda. Mazda keep making those puppies because they know. Probably, let's say if they sold 100,000 engines, they're probably going to need about 1 million rotors.
I was at Mazda, local Mazda dealership, with the wife getting a brand new Mazda 3. Sales guy, what do you think was the paperweight on his desk? Just an RX8 rotor. Probably got 20 out the back. Everyone needs a paperweight. Paperweight was a little large, but I just kind of laughed and went, gee, wonder where that came from.
I'm still copping grief about buying these flaming RX8s, but I've come to the conclusion.
Hey, look, that paperweight came out of the International Engine of the Year.
The only one worth buying is like the Series 3, R3,
That's
whatever.
what he's talking about, R3.
GT model, right? They're expensive.
Yeah.
So then by the time you talk, I don't know, that can be up to 20 grand in Australia. I'm not spending 20 grand on an RX8. You buy the $5,000 ones, they're just rubbish.
Yeah, they look awful.
The later model ones do look, they are finished off a lot nicer.
Series 1 has the, doesn't it have the classic yellow headlights like a lot of older cars?
They brainwashed you? No.
For the price of that, I could buy 2 or 3 Renaults.
Now Luke, I saw you and George, Project NOMANG, hit the dyno and that screamer pipe, pure bliss.
Nah. I was in Project NOMANG the other day, and I'm not joking, this is without a word of a lie. I was going to go for a ride, and I thought, I'm getting my earmuffs. And then I realised I didn't have that particular bag, because I've basically, for you guys watching, I've got a dyno camera bag. It's basically got earmuffs, you know, earplugs, gas mask, it's got a few lights, just all the stuff I need. If I'm going to the dyno, I take that bag and everything I need's in there, right? If I'm not going to the dyno, half the time I just leave it at home. And then I went to get it and I'm like, oh gee, I didn't need that today because I knew the car wasn't going on the dyno. But no earmuffs, so I had to put up with unadulterated raw NOMANG. Now the windows are down and you're in the typical Commodore like seating position, so you're basically lying flat. So your head's basically on top of the muffler, and it's pretty much a living hell. I don't understand how an engine can sound that bad.
Anyway, you're at the point now, might as well install the sagging roof liner to finish the interior, get a real BARRA feel.
Hey, that car, look, it's not perfect, but it's pretty tidy, and from what I've seen, the NOMANG has brought up the, what do they call it? Like, you're now paying a NOMANG tax to buy a VS. I think that car was, from memory, it was about $1,700.
And his one was pretty good.
I think there's no way you could buy that for $1,700 now.
That one was in half decent condition.
NOMANG's just sent it through the roof.
Actually, look, apparently the comments said this thing was concourse and should have been put in a time capsule, and he's ruined it.
It was a classic. We've ruined a classic. If they're worried about that, what are they going to think when they actually see this car with our long-term plans for it?
First time ever.
I feel it's missing a packet of Winnie Blues, a set of skidders, and a disgruntled factory worker behind the wheel.
But yeah, mate, I love rocking Ivies.
It'll still sound like a shit 6, mate. I'd sooner a slow, tough-sounding V8 than a quick, shitty 6. You know what this bloke needs? He needs a stove-hot Holden 308 making about 170 kilowatts at the crank. What do you reckon?
He needs a warm 253 backed by a banjo. Hey Jordo, just to stop you right there, speaking of sound, I went for a ride the other day in a LS-powered Subaru WRX. I was sold.
Really?
It's actually, going in a Subaru that actually has torque is like an incredible feeling. Easy conversion. I shouldn't say easy conversion, but everything fits in there. Like it's not too bad.
Look, an LS fits in anything.
I know, and now it's got me thinking. Maybe I might hang on to my Subaru. Maybe an LS is the way to go.
Sounds like you need a few new sounds coming out of that WRX.
I was thinking about putting in an EZ6 into it because I was thinking about keeping it. My Subaru is fairly neat, even though it's a bug eye, and I'm not even a fan of the bug eye. But
I think it looks great for the bug eye because it's got the SDI headlights. It makes the bug eye look a lot nicer.
But I reckon an LS, I don't know, I reckon an LS in there. But is there any way you could put an LS in there and keep an all-wheel drive system in it?
Yes, that would be a much more complicated process.
It'd probably like, some sort of GTR type, Nissan GTR type deal. But it's, I think about it, it'd be too expensive and you'd be adding weight. But I think the price, realistically, if you go on LS, it's going to have to be a rear-wheel drive.
Yeah, it sounds like you'd have so much more custom parts in there. That's not cheap. This guy seems to be having a bit of a heart-to-heart on the channel. He's saying, we've all seen many times dickheads driving dangerous in highly built-up areas. Cars are getting more and more powerful and faster, and many knuckle draggers can't help themselves. If everyone drove safely and considerately corresponding to the environment, we would not need to review speed limits. Wake up, Neanderthals complaining. P.S. I'm a car enthusiast, motor racing fan, interested in motoring journalism, but there is a time and place for that, not suburban streets where speed limits are being reviewed.
I actually agree with what he says. However, the issue is when it comes to the policeman of just complete nothingness, you know, like 3 k's over the limit. You know, even a standard car, a performance car, you put your foot down, it's pretty easy to break the speed limit, yeah? For a few seconds. It doesn't mean you're out of control, and the problem with a lot of the speeding, there's no grey area, it's just black and white. And it's not going to get any better.
Now, from what he says, we can easily segue into this article. Motorists and the general public are being asked to call Crime Stoppers to report drivers found flouting the law and are being asked to provide any information such as date, time, location, car registration number, as well as handing over any dash cam to support their claims. So basically, they want people to dib-a-dob on everyone. I mean, really.
Snitches get stitches.
Imagine seeing something on your dash cam and going, oh, I'll go to the cop shop and handing that over. I mean, seriously? What, because a guy spun his wheels or something? Did a bit of a U-turn, a bit of opposite lock? What, I'm going to take this to the cop shop? Come on.
Yeah, but it's indoctrination. I mean, when you have the media telling, you know, the general public that, you know, hooning is murder, and...
This guy's got a good comment, actually. Nothing like reliving primary school as an adult. It's pretty true.
Jordo, did you see the Toecutter passed away?
Yes. And I didn't realise he actually played the other dude in
Oh, come on.
I thought it was some other character. I knew it was him. I thought he played the other character. What?
I've seen 20 people write that in the last few days after, you know, his passing, and I thought, seriously, man, how could you have seen both movies and not have actually picked up on that? When the Fury Road came out, it was well publicised that he was the Toecutter. I
can't remember that. I've seen that movie once, never saw it again. As in the newer one.
I had his mask, you know, his face in the Fury Road. I had that as my social media avatar for years.
This is actually a pretty good comment about lane departure, which is if you've got it on a modern car, it just means, it went off today in my missus' car, if you indicate, it'll automatic, and your blind spot detector's going off, it'll go crazy like, hey, you can't merge. Like, you can't move across. There's a car in your blind spot. But it's not just like, your blind spot indicator will go off normally if cars are passing you, but if you indicate at the same time, it goes bananas and says, hey, lane departure.
Oh, every time you drive past the car on the freeway,
you put your indicator and it's kind of alerting
mirror.
you. It's not safe to move over. It's pretty good safety feature. This guy goes, lane departure. If you can't drive with a whopper in one hand, onion rings in the other, stubby in your crotch, and a bong between your knees, you might as well hand your license in.
Speaking of that, the other day I'm at the lights, you know, waiting. It was in the morning, 7:30. I see this woman I just glanced at my rear vision mirror. I just see this woman, cup of hot Joe.
An actual mug?
Like an actual mug. No, an actual like porcelain mug taking a coffee. It was a big one too. And I'm like, oh yeah. I'm thinking, where are they putting that while they're driving? And then I'm driving. I was driving next to her, like sort of up a long hill. But this is in traffic. Like, there's a lot of traffic and everything. And I just glance over it a couple of times. And she's just like doing this.
I reckon she just hung onto it the whole time.
Just drinking it the whole way while we were driving. Jordo, the coffee mug wouldn't even fit in the car. It wouldn't fit in anything.
Obviously, it wasn't accelerating too hard to spill it either. That's how slow these people drive. I found this car on eBay. It's not listed anymore, but it was an old eBay listing. It's very cool. It's a Nissan Micra, which is tiny. And the dude shoved an Evo, combo of an Evo 4 and 6 drivetrain in it. But just have a look at this thing. It looks cool as. Yeah. And you can tell, you know when you get, especially when you get a car that's been converted to all-wheel drive, the rear tyres always sit a bit wide. Because it was never designed for it, right? And you can tell just looking at it. I reckon this thing's cool as. This thing would weigh nothing. Look at the size of this thing.
The tail shaft is probably this long,
looks cool. Big rubber and that's a fair sleeper, especially if you change the wheels. Who would see that coming?